The Third Protectorate Parliament sat for one session, from the 27th of January 1659 until the 22nd of April 1659, with Chaloner, Chute and Thomas Bampfylde as the Speakers of the House of Commons. It was a bicameral parliament, with an upper house having a power of veto over the Commons. Events. After the death of Oliver Cromwell, his son Richard Cromwell succeeded him as Lord Protector of the Protectorate on 3 September 1658. As a civilian, Richard did not have the full confidence of the army, particularly as the administration had a perennial budget deficit of £500,000 and the army was owed nearly £900,000 in back pay. His only option was to call a parliament in the hope that it would cement his position by general recognition of the ruling class and by raising new taxes to pay the arrears owed to the army. The Third Protectorate Parliament was summoned on 9 December 1658 on the basis of the old franchise, and assembled on 27 January 1659. Richard was recognized as Lord Protector by the Parliament by 223 votes to 134, but over the next month the old divisions resurfaced. The Commonwealthmen, members of the Rump Parliament, wanted to dismantle the Protectorate and return to the Commonwealth which had existed between the regicide of Charles I in January 1649 and the dismissal of the Rump Parliament by Oliver Cromwell in 1653. The Protectorate faction was led by the Secretary of State John Thurlow, General John Lambert and Major Generals Charles Fleetwood and Sir John Desborough. These members wished to keep the Protectorate but were divided over who should command the army and be Lord Protector. The proposition of restoring the Parliament met with great opposition from many of those that had tasted the sweetness of power and profit under the late usurpation of the Cromwells, and who feared a more equal distribution of things, and therefore they everywhere affirmed that there was not a sufficient number of members left to make up a parliament. An informed committee of key generals and Republican Parliament members meet at Henry Vane the Younger's home at Charing Cross. The persons of and for the army were John Lambert, Colonel John Hones, Cole, Kelsey, Cole, Berry, and those of the Parliament were Sir Henry Vane, Sir Arthur Haselrig, Major Salloway and Edmund Ludlow. The things demanded by those of the army were: 1. To be secured by and active indemnity for what was past. 2. That some provision of power might be made for Mr. Richard Cromwell, as well as for the payment of his debts and future subsistence in a plentiful manner, they having promised to take care of him in these particulars. 3. That what should stand in need of regulation both in the law and clergy, should be reformed and amended. 4. That the government of the nation should be by a representative of the people, and by a select senate. The trouble was that there was just no way for a parliament with memories of being disbanded on several occasions to allow effectively a new house, if lords chosen among the army's officers, and suspensions ran high. The issues came to a head when Parliament attempted to impeach Major General William Bowtler for actions he had carried out during the rule of the Major Generals in 1656. In response to the attempted impeachment, on 6 April 1659 the grandees in the army presented Parliament with a declaration calling for soldiers to be granted immunity from prosecution for all actions carried out during Oliver Cromwell's protectorate, but accepting that the Commonwealthmen were in the ascendancy in Parliament. Desborough and Fleetwood forced a reluctant Richard Cromwell to use his powers as Lord Protector to dissolve Parliament on the 22nd of April 1659. The grandees intended to keep Richard Cromwell as Lord Protector under army control, without calling another Parliament. The position was undermined, however, when it became clear that the army's rank and file still harboured support for the good old cause of the Commonwealth, and still wanted to have their arrears of pay settled. This swell of ground support forced the grandees to allow Richard Cromwell to recall the Rump Parliament less than a month after the dissolution of the Third Protectorate Parliament. There were 2 speakers during the Third Protectorate Parliament and 2 deputy speakers. Chaloner Chute served as Speaker from the 27th of January 1659 until the 14th of April 1659, with 2 deputy speakers. Sir Lyle Bonelong from the 9th of March 1659 until the 14th of March 1659, and Thomas Bampfylde from the 16th of March 1659 until the 14th of April 1659. Thomas Bampfylde was Speaker from the 15th of April 1659 until the 22nd of April 1659. The Third Protectorate Parliament was preceded by the Second Protectorate Parliament and followed by the return of the Rump Parliament. Composition. The constituencies and distribution of seats in England and Wales for this Parliament reverted to being the same as in the Long Parliament. However, the Scottish and Irish constituencies remained unchanged. Constituencies. Abbreviations: Borough Const. Borough constituencies: Shire Const. County Shire constituencies: Univ. Const. or Consties. University constituencies: Total Const. Total constituencies: Con. Constituencies. Table 1. Constituencies and MPs by type and country. Table 2. Number of seats per constituency by type and country. Notes. Monmouthshire included in England, not Wales. Dublin City and County treated as a county constituency.